the whole competition or the whole Miss Uganda journey, I've seen God's hand in my life in such a tremendous way.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I keep saying it was not by my own strength or by my own might that I got into this position, because I'm not the most beautiful girl in the world. I'm not the most beautiful girl in Uganda, maybe, but I guess there was so much more to it.
Yeah.
And I do following the story of Esther. I don't know if you
in the Bible
are very much involved in the Bible. Yeah, but following the story of Esther, it does talk about how she became queen, but also seeing how God worked out everythh for her during her reign and the favor she had even before approaching the king. Yeah, a lot of story there, but
no.
Hey, UG boy, let's talk to them. Let's talk, chicka, let's talk to them. Let's talk to them. Let's talk to them. Let's talk, chicka, let's talk to them. Yeah, I'm from a beautiful place, the Pearl of Africa. Hailing with a 256, it's in my blood. That's a gem where the mountains rise, with stories untold. The tapestry of cultures unfolding, so vibrant and bold. A symphony of stars, a celestial light. The drums beating, echoing through the night, just like a beacon of light. A reflection that's coming up from the Nile. I'm flowing straight into the heart of Africa, with timeless stories untold. What's up, dog?
we can start from 7.
All right. You're the second person who starts from 7, actually. That's crazy. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's the first?
Who did 7? They said 7 was their lucky number. I'll have to go back in the episodes and see who did 7.
Same. Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Today on the podcast, I'm honored to sit down with a woman who is not just wearing a crown, but also wearing many hats that are transforming lives. She's Miss World Uganda 2024 and 2025, a passionate autism advocate through her foundation, the Nyonyozi Initiative, and a visionary founder behind Hive Uganda and Hive Beauty, platforms that are empowering young girls through beauty, education, and community. She's also a proud alumni of Coventry University, bringing global perspective and grace to every space she enters. From the runway to real impact, this conversation with Natasha Nyonyozi is full of purpose, passion, and powerful insight. Let's dive in. Welcome to my podcast, Natasha.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm excited to have you here. Before I did my introduction, I think it was Gaga that did 7, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was Gaga's episode that she did 7. Yeah. So maybe you guys got it from the boot camp or something. You're going to tell us.
I mean, you never know.
But yeah, I think you're one of the most busiest people in Uganda at this moment. Like at this moment right now.
Yeah, no lie.
I've seen your Instagram, like you're here, you're there. Even I'm lucky to have you on the podcast right now because actually what's coming is even busier than where you are right now. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Honestly, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad I could make it amidst, the roads, the traffic. But hey, I'm excited.
The question that I wanted to ask you that I said I'm going to wait till the cameras are rolling to ask you was, did you know I wasn't in the room when you came to do the podcast here? Did you know like it was virtual? I
actually did not know. But when I saw this little thing in front of me, I figured.
Because a lot of people, and I've been debating if I should tell my guests that before they come or should I leave them to get surprised? Because a lot of people see this podcast on YouTube and they think we're actually in the same room. Sitting there and it's not, like it's virtual.
You've done so well at
Thank you.
Camouflaging that. I would have never figured.
Hopefully some people don't get mad about it and people are happy about it and people like kudos to the work you're doing because this is something unique that not very many people do it that way.
True. I do appreciate the effort, honestly, having to put in all the work to see that, you know?
Yeah.
It does look like we're in the same room. Nice.
So you are from Kabaale. The other person that I had on my podcast that was from Kabaale was Ankan Sime.
Oh, yes.
Kabaale is taking over.
It is.
It looks like Kabaale is now producing a lot of like celebrities in Uganda. So just fill us in. What are you doing special in Kabaale?
What's so special?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's the people, honestly. The people, the culture. Everyone is so loving. I remember there's even so much unity. I remember during my Miss Uganda campaigns, literally, when the minute they knew there was a Machiga contesting, Machiga Nation went crazy. Everyone was rallying behind me. I remember even after I was crowned, all the Machiga went on stage and started singing the Chigezi anthem. Like, it was crazy. But yeah, they really, really love their own. But anyway, not just their own, they do welcome everybody else. So for me, it has been very grounding and it's been such an amazing experience having grown up in a culture like that.
I love that love that you guys have and support that people have for each other, because in this day-to-day life there's a lot of hate and there's a lot of like separation,
right?
But when you see people coming together, I saw the poster you did and that statement that you guys do, I love it a lot. Oh, I think there was another person, I don't think they're from Kabaale, but they're Machiga. It was Brandy Cool was on the podcast, and I asked about that word that I saw on one of your posts. It's like Ruhundo Agu, what?
Oh, Rukunde Gumeho.
Rukunde Gumeho. I love that. Like, well, I know Rukundo is like love, and then what's the other one?
Yes. Egumeho, like may the love stay or may the love remain.
I love that. Like just that statement. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm just like a weird person, but like small things like that, small details, like I love that. I appreciate that. It makes people come together.
Yeah, it speaks volumes.
One of the interviews you were doing, they asked you if you could speak Luganda. And I was surprised actually. I didn't know you speak Luganda. How did you learn Luganda?
Really?
Yeah.
I have been speaking Luganda from when I was little, but I'm not fluent, honestly. I know enough to get me by. But obviously now being Miss Uganda, I've had to polish it a bit more because I'm doing some interviews in Luganda. A lot of the communities that we're going out to, people only speak Luganda. So yeah, I've had to polish it up a bit. Now I'm better, much better than before.
Now you just dug a hole for yourself, because from this point onwards, we're going to do the interview in Luganda.
Are you serious?
I'm kidding.
I mean, it's okay. We can do that.
No, I'm kidding. I have a lot of like listeners from all over the world that really, and actually it came to my notice the other day. I put up one of a good clip on Instagram, and this one girl spoke some of the words in Luganda, which people appreciated what she was talking about. But a lot of comments were saying, hey, we listened to you from East Africa. There are some words that we missed out. And I did not put captions to put in English. So it made me feel bad that I need to be more, what's the word? Like care about, about other people. So I'll try to do English. And I'm going to try to make sure, to everybody listening, I'm going to try to make sure that if somebody speaks Luganda, I'll put the word interpretation in English.
Oh, yeah. Just translate.
In our introduction, I touched on the founder of Girl Hive Beauty. I think you have the beauty and accessories. How did you start that? What made you even want to start that?
I mean, for me, it was, I think, solely driven by passion. I'm very much into makeup and skincare. Anything beauty, I love that. I literally love it. Like I'll dedicate maybe even an hour in the morning just to do my skincare and make sure it's right. So after I finished my uni, I moved back to Uganda, and then I started working, but obviously I wanted something else on the side. So I thought, you know what, I might as well start a business that deals in skincare and makeup, because that's what I like. That's my everyday thing. And even when I moved back, there were a couple of products or items that I was using when I was in the UK that I wouldn't find in Uganda. So I was like, I might as well just bridge this gap. And so I started to get some products from the UK and bring them to Uganda. So eventually, I think the store is a year and a few months now. Yeah, but we've been growing slowly and I love the growth. Yeah, so that's what inspired it, really. I
usually do research about my guests because, like we were saying before the cameras were rolling, I didn't ask you anything. I just told you, hey, can you come to my podcast?
Yeah.
And that's it. So it's my duty as a host to find out stuff. So when I'm doing my research, some people call it stalking. There's been a few guests that I said on the podcast, I stalk people. So I tell them, no, it's research. But one of the things I love to find is like, oh, she does this. Oh, she does that. And it's pretty cool. I love to find that. So for everybody who is listening, go support her. I think the shop is on Kisementi, shop K9. Is it K9?
Mm-hmm.
K19?
G29.
G29. I messed up on that. I forgot. I trusted my head and I should not trust my head. I should not trust my head.
Don't worry.
I have segments that I do on my podcast. We start with a segment called This or That. And then we have the main segment. We have rapid fire. So for yours, since I said I love to flip things out, we're going to start with rapid fire instead of finishing with it. But this rapid fire is going to be different. I'm going to give you time to, because usually when I do rapid fire, I tell them, give me the first answer that comes to your head. But here we're going to take it slow because I look at this question and I was like, I think people will appreciate to get a little bit more insight of that. So feel free to explain it or feel free to just give us one answer. I'm not going to, it's anything. Okay. So the rapid fire I have for you is, what's one word that best describes you?
Ooh, ambitious.
That's a good one. And it explains because like today, I think how many things you have on your schedule since morning. Ambitious. You try to get everything done. I love, and I'm glad you talked about that. I love your communication skills. I really appreciate that. I love people that communicate even when we had, you look at your schedule and you're like, I might be late. So you let the person know. Yeah. It makes me, it changes a lot. It fixes a lot of things. Like a lot of people need to learn that. Like when you communicate something, it will save like a lot of like, so I appreciate it when you texted me that you're going to run late. Right. And I wish many people, the guests that I have, if something happens, just communicate. Just a simple text. So,
because I understand what it means for your schedule to be switched up last minute. So I respect that on the other end. So I have to let them know earlier.
Do you have any hidden talent?
Hidden talent. Ooh. Right now, I would probably say piano.
Oh, really? You're good at it? You're good at playing piano?
I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at it now. Yeah.
What's your favorite Ugandan dish?
Oof. Ugandan dish. I think I have two. I love luombo. Okay. But I also love katogo.
Now,
any type of katogo.
But Ugandan Nation are going to be mad because you didn't mention any of their food.
Why? Irish is in katogo.
Okay.
Yeah, we grow the best Irish in kabaale. So I think maybe that's why I even love katogo. Okay. I love katogo that has Irish.
What's your most used emoji on your phone? You can look up on your phone and see your frequent use.
Yeah. I probably need to check. Let's see. Do you want only one or can I give me the
top three?
Top three. So for your top three, do you look at it going this way or that way? Diagonal.
Start from
vertically or horizontal?
Just go vertical.
Vertical. No, let's go horizontal.
Okay, let's go horizontal.
So horizontal wise, it's the stars, the three stars. And then it's that emoji that's got the smiley, but with the 3 heart emojis. Okay. Yeah. And then the flag of Uganda. Those are my 3.
Okay. Why did you refuse to go vertical?
Okay, because we can go vertical. So vertical, it's still the 3 stars. And then the second one is the heart eye emojis, the double heart eyes. Yeah. And then I don't know how to explain this emoji. It's like...
Okay. Do you want me to read mine? No, it's not my podcast. I have no... It's not my episode. So no, I have a laughing emoji. I have a sad emoji. Okay. And then I have a hug one that goes like that. And then I know. Vertical one, I have 2 raised hands. And then
2 raised hands.
Yeah, like the ones that go like this.
Okay.
And then there's one I created because my phone has that thing where you can describe the feeling.
Can do that?
And then it creates an emoji for you. So it's like a smiley face, but it has a hi like on the side. So I created one on that.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's cute.
Yeah, I like that.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I think the new iOS lets you describe the
do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
A fashion trend you will never try again.
Never try again. Oh, okay. This is a good one. I do my best to avoid skinny jeans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because they're
that's something
uncomfortable?
I'm trying to run away from. Yes, but also I feel like I don't vibe with the look anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I usually prefer my jeans or my pants flared at the bottom or somewhat baggy, boyfriend jeans. Yeah, I think that's my style more now.
One thing that's always in your bag, like it never leaves your handbag.
Lip gloss.
Okay.
Yeah. Lip gloss any day, please.
Actually, let me just add on another one. Give us 3.
Definitely my phone, lip gloss, and my bank cards. I have a little card wallet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those 3.
For money. Yeah. My dad used to say you need to have some money in your pocket.
Always.
Something like that. So you always have money.
What? Omulugwa?
I need to cut that out because I don't want people to cancel me. But they say that because back in the day in Kampala, there used to be people, I think they still do, people who sell like roasted peanuts on the streets. Yeah. So like he was saying, like if you're driving and you accidentally hit them, you have to reimburse them. You have to give them money. So you need to have money in your pockets in case something like that happens.
Okay.
So,
makes sense. Makes sense.
What's your dream country to visit?
Japan. I definitely want to go to Tokyo so bad.
Yeah. What's so special like you want to do there? It's just the looks or what?
I think the aesthetic of it, but also the food, maybe even the culture. And also it is very fast forward when it comes to tech. So yeah, that's what I am looking forward to.
The one movie that made me fall in love with Tokyo is Fast and Furious. The one they did, I think it was 7.
Oh, yes.
That's the reason why I want to go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
Who was your role model growing up?
That's a very good question. Growing up, I think my parents have, this might sound cliche, but my parents have been my biggest role models growing up. I think because they respect the hustle. They've been very hardworking. I think even right now, my older sisters, 2 of my older sisters, we've all got businesses, but I feel like it's because we have seen our parents do that. We've grown up seeing our parents actually start businesses and then build this, build that. So we've been somehow driven into the hustle, I guess. And that's something we've learned from our parents. So for me, it's always been my parents, just looking at how hardworking they've been, very resilient and ethical. Yeah, something I picked up.
That's a good one. It's really good. If you could trade lives with somebody for a day, who would it be?
Trade lives with somebody for a day. I don't know if I would want to do that. I feel like sometimes we might want to, or maybe we might admire somebody else's life. But like, you really don't know what's going on. Everyone has skeletons in their closet. So it's like, I think I'm okay where I am. I'll deal with mine. Yeah, I don't think I would switch with anyone.
I think that's a tricky question too. Like, because I was waiting to hear your answer and you got it right, like nail on the head. Because I wouldn't trade my life for anything, no matter how bad it is.
Right.
And you gave a good example. Like, you don't know what the other person is going through. We might see these people, like even like let's say the celebrities we look up to on TV. We only see the good side of their lives. We never see the bad side of their lives. But you know the bad side of your life and the good side of your life. Like, why would you want to live a life you don't? You know. What if the life you see on the internet is like 30% of the good stuff and 70% is actually bad stuff they're going through? So
the bad stuff.
I think I like your answer. I like it like that.
Yeah. I think there's nothing better than walking in your own journey.
What's your go-to hype song before a big event? Or like before a big event? Yeah, so like before we are going on Miss World. But okay, any event. I'm not going to put an event there, but like what's your hype song like? Gets you ready.
Yeah. I don't know if I have one, honestly, but there's a song that I used to listen to a lot back and forth, especially when life was schooling me. So it's called Schooling Life by Beyonce. So yeah, I usually just play it and I'm reminded that as much as life is schooling me, I'm also schooling life.
Yeah. What's a ritual you do before, like, you speak in public, before, like, your moments, you go on a big stage? Is there something you do?
I always pray or maybe somewhat meditate, but I always pray. I'm a very prayerful person. And I don't know, I feel like if a day goes by and I haven't spoken to God, that's almost a day wasted. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's for a second or two, and just like, thank you, God, or, please guide me through this, or please take me through that. So usually what I pray is I ask the Holy Spirit to speak through me. May I decrease as God increases. Yeah.
No, I love that. Definitely putting God through everything in our lives and putting God first. That's the best way to go about it. I want to focus on something like your journey, what you've been through, what you have ahead. You're the face of Miss Uganda right now, and you won the title of Miss Uganda in August of 2024. How was that journey like? When was the time in your age when you knew like you could do pageantry, like before even the Miss Uganda?
For me, I guess growing up, it's something that I saw or heard about, but I guess at the time, the conviction wasn't there as much. But eventually, I think I started to pick up interest the more I started following beauty pageants or following Miss Uganda. And also, I think a moment that really, really stood out, especially for Uganda, was when Aviation Queen won Miss World Africa. I think that was in 2018, if I'm right. And it was really like, wow, this was such a historical moment for Uganda, not just for her, but also Uganda. And over the years, I think at the time, how old was I? Probably 15 or 14. But I was just like, maybe I could try this. I don't know, but we'll see. But even then, the age, the lowest you could be, I think, is 18. But after that was after my S6. I also considered that, but that was 2020. That was the COVID year. So there was not anything much happening. Then in 2020 is when I left Uganda. I moved to Coventry in the UK for my uni. When I started uni, the thought came back again, and there's actually Miss Uganda UK.
I was gonna ask you if you ever that. I've hosted one of the girls from Miss Uganda UK, Caitlin. Caitlin, she has been on my podcast. What's her other name?
Oh, okay.
She's been here.
So I thought about Miss Uganda UK, and I remember telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, I actually want to do this, and then she told me, okay, yeah, good idea. But I think you need to study first, graduate, and then you can do that, then get into it. But now I look back and it makes sense. At the time, I was like, no, I just want to do it now. But now it really, really makes sense. I can't imagine having to juggle school and, being Miss Uganda. It's quite a lot. But I was patient. I said, okay, fine, I'll wait. So at the time, after graduating, I didn't know if I wanted to move back to Uganda or stay in the UK and work. Yeah, that's something I had to think about. But because I knew I wanted Miss Uganda, so that time from 2020 onwards to 2023, it just kept, the passion or the like for it just kept on growing even the more. And usually I like to believe that it is something that God placed on my heart to do, because like the way it came out of nowhere, it came back out of nowhere, was, I don't know, it was somehow weird.
Yeah.
But my spirit really, really wanted this. I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe God is actually pushing me to do this. And he has the right plan for me in this position. So I said, no worries, I'm going to do it. So one of the reasons I actually moved back to Uganda was to actually contest. I finished my uni in 2023 and I thought I would come back. I finished in 2022. I thought I'd come back 2023, but my graduation was in July. but the contest of 2023 had started in January. So I was like, should I go back to Uganda, contest, and then come back to the UK, graduate, and then go back to... I was just like, you know what? I'll wait for the next year. So after I graduated in 2023, I'm like, let me just move back to Uganda, because in the event that I won, it only made sense that I win from home. And definitely I knew after winning, then 110% you're going to Miss World.
Yeah.
And Uganda is home to me.
Exactly.
I was born and raised in Uganda. Like to 100 or 90%, I would say, of my family is in Uganda. So I said, I just have to do it in Uganda. Fast forward, I moved back, and then I was patient. I moved back end of 2023. That's when I started my business, Girl Hive. And I said I'll sit and wait until they announce the next auditions. So 2024, I think, was it February? Yeah, so the call for the next Miss Uganda is on. I'm like, yep. I'm coming.
Yeah. You had been waiting for that.
I had been waiting.
And it came at the perfect time. Yeah.
Yeah, it did come at the right time. So I keep feeling like it was really good, because somehow everything aligned so perfectly. Even when I got into the competition, I don't know, like I experienced so much favor. I keep on saying that the whole competition or the whole Miss Uganda journey, I've seen God's hand in my life in such a tremendous way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I keep saying it was not by my own strength or by my own might that I got into this position, because I'm not the most beautiful girl in the world. I'm not the most beautiful girl in Uganda, maybe. But I guess there was so much more to it.
Yeah.
And I do, following the story of Esther, I don't know if you...
In the Bible.
Are very much involved in the Bible. Yeah, but following the story of Esther, it does talk about how she became queen, but also seeing how God worked out everything for her during her reign and the favor she had even before approaching the king. Yeah, a lot of story there, but...
That's a beautiful story on how to sum it up and put it all together, how everything played out. And I know you've done multiple interviews about this and talked about it everywhere, but it's cool to just see and listen to your guys' journey and how God uses you for that. And I like the motto of Miss Uganda, like beauty with purpose. It's not only just beauty, but it comes with a purpose, and everything that you do during your reign as Miss Uganda, which we're going to talk about here soon. One question I'm going to ask you from your boot camp, from your Miss Uganda. When they did the talent show, and this is where I'm going to ask you what's your hidden talent. I wanted to see what talent you did for the talent show night. When they did the talent show, you actually hosted the talent show night. Was that your talent, or did you have another talent you did on that night?
That was my talent for the night, actually. And I had never done that before. I'd never hosted an event. And okay, it is more like public speaking. And I always say that my biggest takeaway from Miss Uganda, the bootcamp or the journey, is public speaking. I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could actually do that. But even getting into this position has taught me how to speak in public, how to relate with people better, how to communicate in better ways. Which I'm grateful for, very grateful for.
No, that was great. That was great. I didn't get to see the whole thing. I just saw a few clips and clips here and there. What Miss Uganda puts out on Instagram, and following your journey and your story. And I've had some of Miss Ugandas here, like Oliver Nakakandi has been on my podcast, I think 3-4 times, having a conversation with her. It's pretty cool, pretty crazy to learn that. And people who have been in pageant, in other different pageants, the guys too. I had Mr. Africa on the podcast here to just talk about his journey. So you would think my podcast is a pageantry podcast now. Some people say it might be a music podcast because I have a lot of artists that come on here. Some people think it's like there was a time when I was just interviewing like actors. There was a time when I just because I have this question which is going to come at the end of the podcast. Who would you like to see on this podcast next as a guest?
On the next,
I'm going to ask you that, and then you help me. So people, if I have an artist, they usually recommend another artist. So then it kind of goes like that for a while.
Okay, makes sense.
So it takes you to that trend. So people think it's just like this style. So there was a time when it's just going through all that. But But
Okay.
for this, and this is why I want to bring this because it's the biggest part here. It's almost, is it 12 days to the 72nd Miss Uganda? Is it 12 days from now? As of today? When
For
we're
Miss World?
for Miss World.
I mean, it could even be less than 12 days.
Because it's May 7th.
Okay, yeah, 12.
How many
12,
days
11.
to May
11 or 12?
7th? 11.
It's 11 days.
Seriously, 11 days. In 11 days, you are getting ready to participate. And usually the winner of Miss Uganda always participates in Miss World pageantry. And it's 11 days to the 72nd Miss World in India from May 7th to May 31st. This is exciting news. I know you've been happy about it. You've shared on your Instagram everywhere.
Yeah.
Tell us how you feel about it and how should the Ugandans support you on this journey?
Yeah. I'm honestly excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to representing my country, Uganda, on such a global stage. And I'm also glad that I get the platform to advocate for autism, which is my Beauty with a Purpose project that I started, Nyonyozi initiative that basically advocates for children with autism. Okay, special needs, but more so those with autism. For me, I chose this because it's a personal story or personal journey because my little brother, Ethan, he follows me. He was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. So I've seen the struggles, I've seen the challenges of what it means to have a sibling that has special needs and also the stigma that comes with it. I mean, in the African context, a lot of people will say this child is bewitched, this child is cursed. Take the child to church and they pray for them. Yeah, but I hope that with my initiative, I change that people's minds. Demystifying these beliefs that they have about what autism is. And because at the end of the day, it's not a Uganda problem; it's a world problem.
It's a world problem, yeah.
Almost everyone in the world, every country in the world is experiencing that. So I'm glad I get to shed light on what autism is and the importance of inclusion. But then again, Ugandans can support me by definitely following my social media platforms and downloading the Miss World app. So when you download the app, you'll be prompted to create an account. Then you can search for my name in the search bar, Natasha Nyonyozi. You follow me, like and comment and share all my content, my videos, my pictures, because the higher the engagement you have, the higher the ranking for Uganda. So start by doing that. I think the actual or official voting would start after I get there. But even while I'm there, I hope that Ugandans actually rally behind me and
can they download the app now?
See that
right now, like right now.
Yeah, it is available.
So you've had just pause this podcast. What you're listening right now, go download the app. Just put a pause on it. Go download the app. Look up her name, follow her, do whatever you need to do, and then come back and watch it. You can continue.
Yeah, please. So it is available on both the iOS and Google Play Store. Yeah, so please download the app and support your girl.
That is amazing, and I remember following other Miss Uganda. Like I'll say Oliver, because Oliver is a close friend of mine, and we've been talking and following her journey and always supporting anybody who does something for Uganda. I love Uganda. Like even when I don't live there, it's part of my identity. And that's why this is called the Ugandan Boy Talk Show, because I'm proud to be a Ugandan and I'll always be a Ugandan.
Oh, yes.
And you touched on something actually that we're going to dive deeper into, because I had a segment for that too, which speaks volume to me. And not that... I'm thankful to God that he gave you this platform that you can advocate for that, especially for like your brother Ethan. And I had his name down here because I saw a picture of you hugging him. You had a special moment during the 10K autism run where you were hugging him.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we did that.
Like you say, it's not a Uganda problem. It's like a world problem, because I've had a topic guests here to talk about autism in Uganda, and the people who have talked different things about it. And to have you on the podcast was a cool opportunity, because you know it from a heart, like from your house, because you deal with a brother. And I can't imagine what these kids go through. They go through stigma.
Yeah.
And like people who are not even blaming the parents, but there are some parents who are not educated about what autism is, and they
Right.
look at it as a
Yeah.
negative thing, and that's also like a problem. You touch a little bit of
Yeah.
on it, and I'll repeat again, and this is on Instagram too. You can go follow this Nyonyozi initiative, which is a page that's
Oh, yeah.
building an inclusive
Please do.
community where everyone with special
Yeah.
needs is loved, valued, and accepted. And to me, that's big. As I don't want to put down your Miss Uganda crown and everything, but the fact that you're using that as a tool, I mean, they go together. Like you're using that platform as a tool to reason for that. But the fact that it's not about you and your crown, it's about another person. That's like living a selfless
Right.
life. For me, that stands out to me before anything else. Like it's not about your crown and what you're winning. It's about what you want to do for the people. And especially your brother. How has it been like growing up with Ethan and what he has gone through that pushed you to be an advocate for this?
Growing up with Ethan, of course, has been an incredible journey, honestly, because he's different, but like in a good way. And there's nothing more important than the family loving a special needs child just the way they are, not trying to fix them or even trying to hide them, because I do know a lot of families that are experiencing the same thing, but obviously because of the stigma and everything else that comes, the misconceptions that come with what autism is, people don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want to let people know that they have a child that's autistic because they feel like it's embarrassing. I remember on my homecoming, I talked about it. I talked about my project and I said, I'm advocating for autism because my brother is autistic. And I think it was like 2 parents after that came to my mom and told her, oh my gosh, thank you for, I'm glad that your daughter is actually speaking about autism because I too have a child with autism, but I've never told anyone. And we're like, what? So for me, I'm glad that if I speak up, the fact that I'm speaking up also makes somebody else comfortable to come out and say, me too, and it's okay to have a child that's autistic, as much as there's people still shun against it, but it's very important that people can be more accepting and kind. And the thing is, this can happen to anyone, literally. No one has to have a child that's autistic. But then, we have, as a family, we have learned to love him just the way he is. And we've learned his social cues and how to accommodate everything to make him loved, to make him feel loved and comfortable. Of course, they are prone to like noise or a lot of lights. So whenever we get into a noisy place or somewhere with too much light, we'll try and just make it comfortable for him. If it's dimming the lights, if it's reducing the sounds. It has been an incredible journey. And the fact that he is non-verbal as well. So you learn how to communicate with someone just based off body language. And different social cues. And for me, there's nothing I've enjoyed the most, I guess, in my journey. I know I'm not just advocating for Ethan, my brother, but for every child like him.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know every family that's also experiencing that. I hope to create a sense of hope.
No, that's good. And I like that you're using your crown as Miss World Uganda to leave a lasting legacy of purpose and impact, because these things you do, like even when you do it for a parent, they'll always remember that, whether you're Miss Uganda or not, they'll remember that when you had that platform, you used it to change lives. And it's not like you're Miss Uganda now, you're using that to just go to places like free because you just, Miss Uganda, enter. Miss Uganda, enter. But you put the crown down first to just help even other people, which I really love. And your pageantry, I think I read this somewhere, that is not about perfection. It's about passion, advocate, and inspiring change, which is really, really huge. And I think at this point in Uganda, we needed somebody to be vocal about that. I know there's a group of people who had started that, but it kind of died somewhere. And I know your mom has Autism Center, and there was another one called Kwanza.
So my mom's is Open Friends, and she started it out of, because at the time after my little brother was diagnosed, at least now there's a bit more awareness of what autism is. But back then, almost 10 years back, people didn't really know what that was. And even to find a neurologist who could diagnose autism was very rare. I think at the time it was like one or two. And it was very difficult to even find a school that could accommodate him. And if they tell you they have special needs, maybe it's there, but like there's still something lacking in how they care for the children or how they teach them. So just watching how my parents struggled to put him in schools that were inclusive or that were accepting of him was very difficult. So out of desperacy, my mom said, you know what, I'll start my own center because this is personal for me and I would know how to tackle this or handle what autism is in general. So she started it with other parents that have special needs children. I think they're about 3 or 4. And yeah, so far so good now. And we're starting to see more parents bring in their children, and yeah, they do get a couple of therapies, like behavioral therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy that helps them in their everyday, activities. But so far so good. Yeah. But also I have been collaborating with Kwanza Autism. And it was started by Carol, who is a speech pathologist. She's based in the US, in New York. And then also Joanna, she's a parent who has a child with autism. So for them, it was solely out of the passion to advocate for autism. And yeah, I'm glad that there's actually organizations that are talking about it, because then it also helps me, I guess, build on my work or on my impact.
And you have this quote on your initiative, Nyonyozi initiative page that says, an individual with autism isn't intentionally misbehaving or being challenging. Their responses are simply shaped by a unique way of experiencing and reacting to the world around them. How could you explain that to somebody who reads it and they don't know what it means?
So someone on the spectrum sees the world differently. They take in things in a different way. So they're usually referred to as neurodivergent. So someone without autism is neurotypical. So for them, they're neurodivergent in terms of they'll hear sounds different from how a neurotypical person would hear them. Even light affects them in a different way. Also, social interaction is something difficult for them to do. So you have to take it easy.
Yeah.
Like, literally take it easy with them. But I was listening to a researcher, he's called Simon Cohen, he's based in the UK. And he was talking about how people with autism are usually, it's like how, say there's people that are right-handed and there's people that are left-handed. So if you're to say the neurotypical person, like I, who's neurotypical, I'm left-handed, you would say someone that's neurodivergent or on the spectrum is right-handed. So that's just how it is. It's a difference in the brain.
Yeah. And I pray that people who either associate or meet kids with autism just extend some grace and show them the love, because they really need it. They might be different than you, but we're all the same at the same time, and they could use some love in their lives. And you collaborated with a lady called Gabriela Ayobo, and she mentioned, so she has a kid, I think died for, she mentioned you're writing a book and she's going to be able to publish a page of her child's book. That was cool. I think I read it. I was like, this is awesome. So I want to break the news here. Of like,
that's good. You're paying attention. But yes, I am working on a book. So it is basically a collection of different stories. My journey, of course, is there with my brother Ethan. My mom also talks about what it was like the early years. And there's different parents in there. There's also counselors. There's pathologists, the speech pathologist that I mentioned, Carol. We also have an autistic... she's called Sarah. I actually interviewed her maybe a couple of weeks back, and she shared her journey of acceptance. So for me, I think just being able to put people's stories in a book is powerful in itself, because I know that's impactful, not just for Ugandans or East Africans, but I hope that the book is able to reach as many places around the world like I had said earlier, autism is not a Uganda problem. It's a world problem. Approximately 75 billion people are diagnosed with autism around the world. So I hope that the book is like, when I'm asked about what kind of legacy I want to leave behind, it's a legacy of impact, because words are timeless. And I do hope that the message in these stories, it gives courage to someone else that's going through the same thing.
When that book comes out, I need to get a copy of it, and maybe that will be our second interview here, to just come here and we just talk about the book, because I love stuff like that. I love like just digging deep, like, why did you write this? What did you mean this? And just breaking it down. That's some cool stuff for me. And we're always here to support you. And I put this podcast out here to show any love. Any of my listeners, we need to do our part to support you, because you are not just representing yourself, but representing the whole country and the whole world, Miss World. So that's as good as we'll get. But there was another cool moment that I really loved. During the landslide in Chitesi, you met a young girl called Maria. Maria was 5 years old.
Oh, yes.
Maria was in the Chitesi emergency camp despite everything that had happened, her spirit was still strong and her eyes were bright and they were filled with hope. And she shared with you that she wished she wanted to become Miss Uganda one day. See, stories like those, like somebody, I'm a believer, and I love this verse in the Bible in Psalms that says, even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, because you are with me. I will
fear no evil.
So for me, when I'm reading Maria's story, like, she's in the middle of a landslide, things are broken, everything is gone, but she has hope, and she's still hopeful that things are going to get better, and she shares with you she wants to be Miss Uganda one day. How did that feel for you in the moment when you're talking to her?
It was incredible to see that. Anyway, I think it's just the innocence of a child, you know, regardless of what was happening. But I also guess because when I've met her, she was with her mom, actually. But I think also just the presence of having her mom there maybe sort of gave her the sense of protection or courage, I would say. And even when I met the mom, she kept on telling me, oh my gosh, me and my daughter, we've been watching you on Makula TV. We've watched the whole journey. And I was like, what? No way. It just melted my heart even the more. And then she came and hugged me and she says, yeah, I want to be I want to be a Miss Uganda as well. And I spoke to her. I told her, girl, you will. You definitely will be. And you can do it. But the fact that she still had the joy in her, like I said, anyway, the innocence of a child, regardless of what is happening around you. Somehow, a child can't spend very long when they're sad. They'll still come back to the joyful nature that God gave them. So, yeah, even in the midst of everything that was happening, she was still happy. She was still playing. So even her just saying that, I spoke life into that manifestation. And I said, yes, you will be.
No, that's powerful. That's powerful. And when you talk about legacy, that's legacy, because Maria will always remember the moments when she met you and talked to you. Right. Eventually, it will be part of her story. I met Natasha and I told her when I was younger, blah, blah, blah. So that's some cool stuff for me, because that will stay in somebody's heart forever. I'm happy that you talked about autism, and that was really something I wanted my audience to learn about, and something you're standing for, and showing this support for you as you go out there. We're going to be tuned in. We're going to be supporting everybody. Download the app again.
Please.
Everywhere. Support it. And follow her social media platform. Follow her journey. She needs all the support. After you get your Miss Uganda crown, and you've been doing a lot of projects, a lot of things, part of the things you've been modeling in wedding dresses. And one of your captions, you said, it's giving just married.
Just married. Because that's what it was giving. I remember when I first posted that video on TikTok, everyone was like, huh? You're married? You're married? I said, guys, let's breathe. Let's relax. It's just a photo shoot. Calm down.
Have you modeled for Santina?
Santina? I haven't. No, not yet. Not yet.
Somebody said like it's a curse or something for girls who are not married to model wedding dresses, or like, I don't know, but these are stereotypes. Like,
I've had that before. Actually, before we went on set, I didn't even know about it like that. I was with Soraya, my first runners up, and she told me, "You've not heard of the curse. Frankly, when you model or put on a wedding dress before you get married, you don't get married.
Yeah.
But I said, I rebuke this. I cover myself with the blood of Jesus.
Amen.
I will get married.
Yeah. I was like, I need to ask her about this part of she's had this because, but yeah, that's something I've had people say, no, they look amazing. And I think that comes with your position now and like whatever things you do to for business and work. And I think God understands,
Right.
like, this is work. It's not like I'm trying to interfere with anything. I'm just doing work, God.
Yeah.
But the other thing was to promote
Yeah.
Uganda. I mean, that also comes with the title. And you went on this long trip on the gorilla trek.
Oh, yes.
You posted a
Ooh,
picture
yeah.
of like before and after. What changed? Like,
And after, it was my hair that changed.
Yeah.
But people said it still looked okay. I felt like I looked crazy. I literally looked like I had just come out of the forest, which I was in.
and that's the reason why I'm asking you because
Yeah,
I look at the pictures. I'm like, okay, am I missing something? What is different? Like,
There was no difference.
I think
Oh
for
my
me,
days. Because when we went in, okay, I'd gone in with curls in my hair, but by the time we got out, because it was rain, it was drizzling like half the time we were there. By the time I got out, all the curls were like gone out. There was nothing. There was no bounce at all. So that's what I was trying to show.
how was that experience? That is something I've never done. I really would love to,
You should.
but just
I highly recommend.
Yeah.
Highly. You should go to Rushaga Gorilla Lodge. That was the best experience. I enjoyed it. It took us about like 2 hours or an hour and a half to finally get to where the gorilla family was. But the minute we got there, we were all like, oh my gosh, this is so surreal. Like, are we actually seeing mountain gorillas for real, for real? But it was really, really nice. I enjoyed it.
Did you ever freak out about their life, like how they look like human life, like how real their lifestyle is like
Yes.
compared to like human life?
Literally, I remember a guide was telling us they are, is it 98% human? The only difference is that they don't speak. I said, wow. And they're just huge. But damn, I don't know. It was mind blowing. And interestingly, they're vegetarian.
I remember going to the zoo and the tour guide was showing us how they peel the banana, and like if you throw it in the water, they will not get it unless the male will go with a stick and pull the banana
To pick it out.
to the island or whatever
wow.
from the water to pick it up and eat it. But all the other ones won't go. It's just mind blowing. It was crazy. I think that's one of the. I've
It
never been
is.
to Buendi, but that's one of the things I really
Yeah,
wanna.
you
get
should.
there. Yeah,
Definitely. When you're in Uganda, that's a must do.
Yeah, that's on a bucket list. But the final other part I'll end with was Uganda Aviation Academy. I saw they had given a scholarship for the Miss Uganda. I picked this part to talk about it because I grew up loving aviation ever since I was 8 years old. And I
really?
always wanted to go
Nice.
to Uganda Aviation Academy in Soroti. And when I finished Form 6, I was like, I want to go there. But when I
Yeah.
finished Form 6, then my uncle was like, hey, you can go to the US. And I moved to the US. I'm doing aviation now. I'm an aircraft mechanic.
Oh, nice.
That's what I do like full time.
Ooh.
And that's why
Come on.
aviation, like it's big for me and the people who are in Uganda doing it. But they gave Miss Uganda a scholarship, and one of the queens, Nabatanzi, who was the second runner-up,
Yes.
graduated, and you attended. She had a diploma in cabin crew.
Yeah.
How was that experience and working with the Uganda Aviation Academy?
Yeah. It was good, honestly. It was nice to see that she actually pursued her dream, because I remember her mentioning that she had always wanted to get into aviation, be part of the cabin crew. She'd always admired it. And I think she also mentioned one of the reasons she wanted to be in the top 3 was to get that scholarship. So it was nice to see that God answered her prayer and she did get the chance to actually study it. And I am proud of her, honestly. So it's nice to see that girls are actually taking on aviation more. I think even my first runner-up, Suraya, she was already pursuing it. She's a captain already. We call her Captain Sue. So, I mean, shout out to the top 3 doing their thing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's this one part I missed, but it's good that I'm bringing it to the last part. Is one moment during Miss Uganda, this was on social media. There was some fight. The fight happened when you're in a boot camp, I think in the Miss Uganda, there was some argument. I think I asked Gaga about that because it was on social media. Were you part of the people who were fighting, or what had happened?
Oh no, there was no way I could be part of the people. So I was actually one of the people trying to break the people apart.
Okay.
Because in the camp, before we got into the camp, we had to vote or elect a president for the camp. So yeah, fortunately, I was voted as the president. So when I got into the camp, of course, I couldn't be in fights like that. But my job was to basically just try and split them apart, put one side to this side and say, okay, what's up? What happened? Then you listen to the other side of the story. Yeah, it was an interesting role. But hey, when you have 28 girls in one house, yeah, expect the drama.
Well, yeah, whenever you have a group of people around, even if they're men, even if they're what, like, I mean, yeah, men will always like fight or anybody, but it's part of it. Yeah. But that was just a funny part that we saw on social media, and it was pretty cool, pretty funny. Yeah. Anyway, so now this is the final segment where I ask you the questions. It's called this or that. So you pick one or the other. Feel free to explain or feel free to just say that's my answer, and that's all I got. Heels or sneakers?
Heels. As a pageant girl.
Yeah.
Heels.
Okay.
But I mean, some things call for sneakers, so I guess it would depend on when, what, and when. But I think I would go for heels more than the sneakers.
Runway or red carpet?
Ooh. Red carpet.
Yeah.
I mean, I love photos. I was Miss Photogenic, so red carpet any day.
Oh, yeah, you want Miss Photogenic. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Makeup or natural beauty?
You see, this one is a good one. Natural beauty for me, although I am wearing makeup today. Yeah. But preferably natural beauty.
City life or countryside vibes?
After my trip, countryside vibes.
Yeah. After the trip you went to the game parks and stuff? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Netflix binge or outdoor adventure?
Ooh. Outdoor adventure. I'm the adventurous kind. Yeah, so I like anything that gets my adrenaline going and pumping. I
think there was a picture you had on Instagram that you said, I'm mostly inside, but I get out sometimes. There was a caption that said that.
Yeah.
When I say these things, I think people listen to me. I was like, this guy stalks people.
No, but it's good to do your research.
Yeah. I like being inside. I like being inside. I like to go outside sometimes once in a while, but I love being inside. Catwalk or crown moment?
Ooh, I think crown moment, honestly.
Yeah.
As much as I love the catwalk, by the time the night ends, my God, you can't feel your feet.
Yeah, yeah.
So, crown moment.
But that's why I was going to ask you this question. I think I forgot to put it down. Is like, how do you deal with fame? Like the day before you were not everywhere, not in cameras, you're not in, maybe you were, I don't know. But like, how did you deal with that now? Like you're a public figure, like
the transition.
How did you handle that transition?
It's been a journey, honestly. I've had to learn how to maneuver what comes with the fame. But even then in a position like this, it's tricky because you don't know who's really for you and who's not. But I guess, like I said, I am very prayerful. So I just always pray for God to bring the right people in my life with good intentions. I always pray for discernment and insight before I do anything or go for anything or do anything out of the ordinary, really. Yeah. Even before I become friends with someone, I ask God, is this a good friend or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's been a journey having to learn everything. But again, I'm always consulting God.
Sunrise or sunset?
Damn, that's a good one. That's a very good one. I think sunset. I'm a sucker for sunset. But then even the sunrise is beautiful. But sunset.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with either way. I should have given you the option to do both. No, then they will take the fun out of this.
Yeah.
No. Okay, I'll give you a pass
True.
for this one, just this one. Spa day or gym session?
Spa day. Give me a spa day anytime. Even though I had one just yesterday, I'm coming back for another one. Yeah, I love a good spa day.
That'll be good. Instagram or TikTok?
Ooh, I'm more of an Instagram person. Yeah, I love TikTok for, I guess, just scrolling through and having a good laugh. Yeah, but I think I'm more of an Instagram person.
I think, yeah, I don't watch a lot of TikTok, but I think people do a lot of lives and I like funny stuff on TikTok. But you know what I discovered though?
Yeah.
I think Instagram Reels are funnier than TikTok.
The TikTok?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay, yeah, true. There is a couple of funny ones on Instagram. Although with Instagram, I feel like it's a combination of almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
You have the funny stuff, the serious stuff, literally people's lives, it's a combination of a lot of things. But TikTok is like that one place where 100% I'm going to laugh before I leave this app.
Yeah, no, for
like
sure.
There's something hilarious going on there all the time.
I love TikTok. I love TikTok. And the other thing I was talking about in my previous episode is like, I think it's easier to grow a following on TikTok than any other social media platform. It's like, it's easier. Like I got to 10K on the same day for Instagram and TikTok.
Really?
But right now TikTok is at 27,000 and Instagram is at like 13,000.
Oh wow.
And we were on the same day when we got 10K and like it just like went crazy.
It takes a minute to grow on Instagram.
Yeah.
But TikTok skyrocket.
Natasha, it's been amazing to just sit down, have a conversation with you. It's everything and more that I expected to just have this conversation, because I always wonder, how do you sit down with somebody for an hour that you've never met this person, you've never had a conversation before, but you sit down and hold a conversation for an hour. So it's been amazing to talk to you, and I can't wait for the listeners to listen to your journey, support you in all you've done, and we're thankful for what you're doing for our country.
Thank you so much for having me. This was very insightful and exciting at the same time. But yeah, I'm glad that I was able to actually make it. And hopefully I will be back soon. Thank you for the platform as well, just to be able to share my journey, my advocacy. Yep. And I do hope that the Blue Crown comes to Uganda for the very first time.
Let's go. I almost even forgot my final three. I have 3 questions, but these are quick ones that we do at the end. What's a life lesson you've learned in life to this point?
Take every day as it comes. One thing I'm reminding myself to do is to be slow. Like, take your time. Take your time. There's no rush. There's no hurry. And enjoy every moment as it comes, because that's the first time you're experiencing it and that's the last time you're experiencing it. So,
Facts.
Yeah.
What gets you excited about life?
I think the ups and downs about life.
Yeah.
Life is very interesting. It's also seasonal. There's ups. You'll be happy one moment, the next time you're sad, the next time you're in between, the next time you don't know what to do with your life. That's what makes life interesting. The ups and the downs.
And then the signature question I told you earlier. Who would you like to see on this podcast next as a guest? And you will help me get that person here.
Oh my gosh. Who do I want to hear from? I'm trying to scroll through the people I follow. Please have... this is a tricky one. Let's see. Okay, please have Lucy Bunyanyezi.
Okay. All right. We'll work with you to see that we get her here.
Yeah.
Hey there, my name is Bonnie Chibuka, the podcast host of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Thanks for watching and listening to my podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Also, leave a feedback on this podcast, because that's how we grow. Thank you very much and be blessed.
What's up, everybody? It's Natasha Nyonyozi here, Miss World Uganda 2024-2025. And I have been hosted on the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. This was a very interesting episode, very insightful and exciting. So make sure to watch it, okay? We talked about my journey before Miss Uganda and my journey as Miss World Uganda. Also, my preparations towards Miss World that is happening in the next 11 days. But yeah, I hope for your love and support. And yeah, what else did we talk about? I think that was it. Just watch so you can find out what else we spoke about. Okay.
Exactly. And download the app, please, right now. The Miss Uganda app.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Please download the
Tell them.
Miss World app and make sure to follow me. Like, comment, and share my every post. The higher the engagement, the higher the ranking for Uganda.
Moride. Now go do that. Thank you very much. It was amazing. I'm sorry I kept you
Thank
late.
you, Bonnie.
So hopefully
No,
you can get
don't
home
worry.
in time.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
We are done. I told no kugamba, you drink your drinks. We're done. I would love some pictures of her in the studio.
All right, no problem. Bye. Right? I wish I knew it. Okay.